Okay, I thought I'd do a video today on my German K98 Mauser. This one is a World War II Mauser. It was made in 1942 at the Steyr factory in Austria. It has on the receiver, it has some letters stamped here. If I can get this lighting good here. It's stamped BNZ. It's sort of hard to see the B. It's sort of faint. Part of the B is missing. But the BNZ stamp stands for Steyr factory. And this is the same factory that produced all the weapons for the SS, the Nazis. I'm not sure if this one was built for the SS or if it was just a standard issue to the German army. I think if you're a collector of surplus military rifles, you really got to have a Mauser K98 for your collection. And most of the modern bolt action rifles are based on this Mauser action, because it's so strong. Okay, they built approximately, from what research I've done, they built approximately 14,000 German K98s in World War II, and about 7 million of those 14 million were captured or were turned in at the end of the war to the Russians. And the Russians took them and they refurbished them all. So they reblued them. They took all the guns apart and took the bolts out, reblued the barrels, the sights, everything. And what they did was they took all the parts and they threw them into bins. So one bin might be full of stocks, a bin full of barrel bands, a bin full of bolts and trigger housings. So whenever you get a Russian refurbed K98, it's going to be a mixture of parts. It'll have a variety of serial numbers on it. Like with this one, you can see the barrel band has a different number. It's 7737, I believe. And that's different than the receiver serial number. And what they did with how you can tell a Russian refurbished rifle, it'll have this shellac finish. You'll see electropenciled numbers a lot of times on the bolt, different parts of the bolt, and they always stamped the serial number here on the stock. As you can see here, there's some more different serial numbers here. And you'll notice on the Russian refurbs that these capture screws are missing. They never put the capture screws back in. And sometimes they'll have the wrong stock for the year of the gun. Say, like this is the correct stock. This is a laminated stock, and it has that cup to butt plate. Where the earlier, I'm not sure exactly what year they started it. It was like in the 40s, say like 1939 might have been the last year for the flat butt plate. Then they went with this cup butt plate with the laminate stocks. So you'll see a lot of mismatching like that. You may have the wrong stock on the gun. All the serial number parts will be different. I believe this has a different serial number under the sight here too. So that's how you can tell if you have a Russian refurb. Also, the cleaning rod is always missing too. Well, the K98 shoots the 8x57 round. It's actually 7.92 by 57 officially, It's a pretty powerful round. I've crony tested these. This is some Wolf ammunition with a soft point, 196 grain bullet, and it's pretty common. You'll see loadings from like 150 to almost 200 grain bullets, and this one cronied in around 2,000 feet per second. You can get some of the surplus ammunition that's pretty much equal to a 30-06. Might be shooting like a 175 grain bullet that goes like 2,800 feet per second or so. So you can get some pretty powerful ammunition. Okay, here's a little info on the Mauser bolt. It locks back on the last round, so when it's empty, the magazine follower comes up high enough that the bolt hits it, prevents you from closing the action. And it has a 3-position safety. Right now it's in the fire position when this lever is all the way over. In the middle, trigger is disconnected from the sear, and but you can still operate the bolt. And then when you have the lever all the way over, the bolt is locked and the trigger's disconnected from the sear. Now to remove the bolt from the gun, you need to pull on this little lever here on the side. Just pull on this and the bolt comes out. The rifling in this particular rifle is really strong. The bore's kind of pitted up, but the rifling is very strong in it, and it looks like the gun hadn't been cleaned since the Russians refurbed this. So when I got the rifle, I did some cleaning. I'll splice the video in of me cleaning the gun, and it was absolutely filthy. I'd never seen a gun that dirty before. So I think all that powder residue and copper buildup and everything was left over from the war. But you can see got a nice muzzle on it. This is a good, easy way to test how good the rifling is on the muzzle. How deep your bullet goes in. You can see, pretty tight. When I go to a gun show, I'll take a round with me. And a couple of the German Mausers I saw at the last gun show, this tip of this bullet would go all the way in. They were totally worn out at the muzzle. So I'll show some of the markings on here. This was imported. I don't really like the way they mark this. I wish they would have marked it maybe like at the bottom of the barrel or something. But you know, it's a nice K98, so I picked it up anyway. But the way they marked it, and then they have a serial number over here. This is the importer. And as I showed earlier, it has the B and Z markings from the Steyr factory, 1942. It has the model 98 marked on the side. And it still has the these Nazi eagles. A lot of the refurbed rifles, you'll see these Nazi eagles are peened out or ground off. This one has, none of the markings have been ground off this at all. You can see sort of a faint inspector's mark right here. And I'll have some close-ups towards the end of this. I'll have a slideshow with some close-ups. There's some proof marks on the side receiver here. See those? I think they call those Waffen ants. Those are inspector's marks. They're all over the gun. Every part of the gun has those markings somewhere on them. Okay, here's what the front sight looks like on the German Mauser. It has like a pointed tip to it. It's in pretty good condition. And this is a correct sight mount for this year of rifle. It would have had a sight hood. That's why it has these grooves on the sides. A lot of the Russian refurbs you'll see, they'll have the wrong front sight mount, wrong barrel bands for the year, which this one is all correct type for the year, but mismatching serial numbers. And the rear sight is adjustable to 2,000 meters. And it just slides up and down like that. You can get a pretty decent picture, sight picture with these sights. I was able to shoot this pretty accurately without having any having a lot of experience shooting the gun. Trigger's pretty decent too, considering. This right here is for disassembling the bolt when you change the firing pin. And this sling I got, I picked up on eBay. I think it was about $25 or $20 maybe. It's a reproduction. And I guess the original slings had this type of pattern on them and the leather. Yeah, this gun definitely had not been shot since the Russians refurbed it. As I said earlier, the bore was extremely filthy. And I've shot this gun about 20 rounds so far. And you can see right here there's some metal showing through on this rail that the bolt rides on. When I got the gun, it was totally black there. Like nobody had ever even run the bolt. And you sort of feed ramp into the chamber there. That was totally black. You know, bluing was intact all there. And now you can see where the rounds have rode up it. Some marks there. Okay, so here's the Mauser bolt. Notice it has some ventilation holes here. If you get a ruptured case, that helps ventilate the gases away from you. And Mauser bolt here's what it's famous for, these locking lugs. And then you got a third locking lug back here, makes a really strong action. It's your safety lug. Nice beefy extractor on there. Okay, the Mauser bolt cocks on opening. As you can see, watch the cocking piece here. See how it went back. And here's how you decock your rifle. You pull the trigger. First, make sure it's empty. Make sure there's no rounds in the chamber. Nothing in the magazine. And then what you do is you pull the trigger, close the bolt, and that decocks it.